Hello, hello everybody, Ahnaris here, kicking off my coverage of the Intel Extreme Masters tournament currently taking place in China. Today we are going to be watching the best of 3 series between JYP of Team SCV Life, spawning as the blue Protoss over in the right hand side, against iGXiGua, I guess it's actually iGXiGua, spawning as the green Zerg over in the left-hand position of Team Invictus Gaming. So we have a ZVP today on GSL dual side, and let me tell you something. This guy, his name actually means watermelon, by the way. So don't be surprised if I use watermelon and iGXiGua kind of interchangeably throughout the game, not even realizing it. But I just think it's really funny. This guy is actually one of the top Starcraft 2 players in China. The guy is a beast. So I might just call him watermelon for the sheer fact that calling somebody who is to be feared watermelon it amuses me. I'm not going to lie. I actually get a good laugh out of it. So I'm looking forward to see what he has today, as well as JYP. He is also a player that has risen very quickly. So I'm hoping that he's going to be representing his team well today in the Intel Extreme Masters tournament. So I have got plenty of games for you guys coming from this. I'm going to try to cast as many of them as possible. I think I'm actually going to... I'm going to cast as many as possible, but I'm also going to try to diversify the game some. So if I see that there were a whole bunch of PvZs put out in one day, I'm not going to flood you guys with a whole bunch of, PvZs or TVT or whatever. We'll kind of balance it out so we have a good mixture of games. Because, well, frankly, I think not many people enjoy watching the same matchup time and time again, unless they're trying to learn something from it. So we're going to try to maximize the entertainment value. Now let's look at the builds. We have iGXiGua opening up with a hatch first, currently sitting at 15 supply, going ahead with the pool as well. Likewise, JYP opening up with a Forge Fast Expand, watching that money tick up. I mean, I feel like it's a really smart idea to go for it on this map, especially considering the fact that the Protoss is over here trying to cannon the expansion. Crazy shenanigans going here the first minute of the game as we see the probe already destroyed. First kill of the game right there. So there's the cannon actually not being canceled. I wonder. Well, I guess really the most important thing, there we go, is to keep the drones not mining for as long as possible. So they are here. They're going to be heading back up to the main, and that's fine. But the point is, he spent 100 and say, 20, 30 minerals to keep 6 drones AFK for about 30, 40 seconds or so. So overall, I would say that was a pretty decent use. The expansion is complete, though. And likewise, JYP's Nexus is about 50% complete. Now, we do have a cannon going down. Now, let's actually take a look at the wall here. I feel like this is a pretty good wall in. I'm a little curious to see if anything can run through right here. You see those circles aren't quite overlapping there. And, that's not really a perfect indicator. Sometimes they'll be overlapping, you can cross through. Sometimes you won't have to overlap at all, and you can't. It's, not a hard and fast rule, but... Okay, so yeah, I think that should be fine, like it is. Cybernetic score going down, going to complete this wall off, meaning any lings that decide to run in, they're going to have to go all the way around. It'll be very difficult for them to actually get in and do any serious damage. So JYP in a great position now, playing defensive early, but here comes some Zerglings. We saw those running across the map a few seconds ago. JYP does know they are en route, and obviously sees them now with this poor probe running for dear life. He doesn't have anything to block off the ramp, though, so these Zerglings are going to get up. There's going to be 5 of them total, able to make it into the mineral line. I feel like JYP should be able to handle this without too much difficulty. He does have a Zealot being chrono boosted out, already has one on the field. And so what he's trying to do right now is he doesn't want to lose any probes to this. That's the biggest thing. If you can get in and delay the Zerglings by doing that whole, run to the mineral patch, bunch up, and then get a surround on the Zerglings, that's great. But you don't want to go for a prolonged engagement when you know that he's going to be able to kill some probes. You just want to delay them as long as possible to get your Zealot in there, and then he can do the dirty work, chase them around, and now you see business as usual. The probes are flowing. You see the warp gate technology is on the way. Also, we've got a sentry as well. So this attack has essentially been shut down, with the exception of possibly coming in and sniping off a probe or 2 working on gas. But no, he's actually going to engage the Zealot there, excuse me. So We're going to spend a little time down there at the Zerg base, I swear, but this is just kind of where the action is at this point in time. I know I've had a couple of viewers say that I spend too much time in one place or the other, so I just thought I would outline my reasoning there. So for future videos, you kind of know what's up. Anyways, down here in iGXiGua's base, you see he is droning up very hard. We see he's actually working on a third right now as well. He's also got a Roach Warren and an Evolution Chamber going down. Looking here, we see he does have all 4 geysers running simultaneously, so he's also got those gateways on the way. So I think having the Evolution Chamber obviously upgrades, great thing, especially since the guy has been able to drone like a madman. 43 to 36 right now. I wouldn't be surprised if he continued that actually for some time. But here's JYP actually. I like what he's doing. He's using these zealots now to basically just go and apply pressure to the third base. I mean, really, they were going to be sitting in the main, basically guarding against an attack that likely wouldn't come again because he has those sentries now. And so he might as well put them to good use. And you see he's got great positioning here. This is absolutely fantastic. Really denying those Zerglings the complete surround. So you're going to have the basically the Zealots get as many kills as possible there. Where iGXiGua, he's going to be continuing on droning up 10 drones coming right now. That's what I'm talking about. This third expansion is looking great. Looking over here at the Protoss, you see it's it's building up as well. And he's also saving up his chrono for something that's kind of curious about that. He's got some warp gates continuing to build in. I'm going to be looking to see which tech path he chooses. I don't think air would be that viable at this stage in the game. We're already 9 minutes in, and, well, let's face it, iGXiGua didn't really commit a whole lot to this attack. You see, he's just now finishing up Metabolic Boost, so he's only sent a few Zerglings over there. He's got 24 on the way, but he has done so much damage already. Obviously, he suffered some as a result as well, but, oh man. Definitely, I feel like he threw off JYP there in the start. But he's back on his feet. The important thing right now is for JYP to figure out a way to do some economic damage, whether it's through drops or just expansion harassment, something he's got to do. Now, we actually have a massive Ling run by coming in here. This sentry is going to be going down. I think he was focused on this attack possibly coming down here and engaging, but we're not going to see that happen. We're seeing some force fields going down. Actually, good positioning on those, blocking the Zerglings in here, not able to run back. But really, let's look at what's the result of that. A few Zerglings forced in to the corners with some of those key units have allowed him to take out the cannon, take out the sentries, and now progress forward into the main mineral line. Just look at the income right now, 61 to 34. So it's going to be very difficult for JYP to recover from this, even if he comes out with his economy relatively unscathed, which we can just look at the resources lost right now and see. Both players have suffered pretty hefty losses thus far. But I feel like iGXiGua has invested far less into those attacks in terms of really tech and stuff like that. But look at what is coming around here now. We have that sentry wall off at the top of the ramp, really making great use of that warp prism that of course was received a buff in 1.4, making it a little bit more durable, bringing those shields up to 100. And so JYP doesn't really have a lot of options other than to just go and try to tear down these walls. So will he be able to do it? I don't know, man. There's a lot of zealots, there's a couple sentries, so one thing that's important to note now is that with these attacks going on, oh, nice force field and guardian shield there by JYP. Oh, but the burrow, don't think he was quite ready for that. He does have a robotics facility. He's choosing to make it an immortal, ironically enough, rather than an observer, but probably a good idea because ultimately the quantity of roaches up here doing damage is just so significant. Even these cannons are going to be falling. But pay attention, while that attack is going on down there, we have some continued pressure. Now keep in mind, JYP has been forced to split his time between these two battles. Number one up here, he's got to maintain constant force field at the ramp, while you see obviously with the forces committed up here, he doesn't have to do quite as much, but still, he has to watch out for those drone surrounds. They can be deadly in big enough numbers. But all the while, maintaining defenses up here. Now notice how this has fallen, so he's going to have to rebuild that. There's a big old gaping hole here. Fortunately for JYP, he does have a lot of zealots to deal with that. So ultimately, I think he's going to come out on top in that particular scenario. You see the resources still kicking up for loss for both players as the Zealots are going to continue to chase around. Again, more force fields going up as this lair is going to be going down. Looking down here, he doesn't have one there. We see he doesn't have one there either. He is trying to rebuild. He's got his spawning pool on the way with 13 roaches right now. So he is really stuck with this low tier play, trying to counter these forces. Will he be able to, though? Really, it's hard to say. But, you know, really, it just all comes down to the fact that he does have the burrow, so that's going to really help extend the life of these roaches, because they can get down and regenerate so quickly. And if he can just micro the roaches, keep them burrowed, kind of rotate, then I feel like he'll be in a great position. It looks like this Spire almost died there. Now, the Spire is actually going to be pretty important, I feel. If the Zerg player is allowed to get up some Mutas or Corruptors, depending on really what he chooses for the situation, this Warp Prism play is going to be severely diminished. I think Corruptors would probably be a better choice because, again, you've got that Corruption to throw on some of these heavier units here. You know, get down those Stalkers quicker, knock down the Immortal once its shields are down, and just overall have a little bit more support for those Roaches and Zerglings. But again, the force field's going down. Nice burrow right there. Not quite ready for it this time, the Zerg player is, because there's a Observer now, and he saw how he suffered pretty significant losses in that particular fight. Let's actually pay attention to the units lost tab and see 7.7k to 4.5. As far as income is concerned, you see Zerg is still up 53 to 46. So over to the army, we see it's actually pretty close, all things considered, but the Protoss definitely has a lot more tech invested into his. Obviously, a lot of sentries there, so that's going to count for a good bit of it. The force field's going down again. Nice blink right there, saving a couple of those Stalkers. Actually, no, bringing them up into the War Prison. Excuse me. That was, again, great play. I think we're going to see that oh, wow. Epic cancellation right there, denying 5 units. Those 2 Corruptors definitely paying for themselves right there by delaying that attack even further. That was actually a crucial moment, because if those units had warped in, I feel like these Stalkers would have been able to stay long enough to put pressure on that base. But now we do have Blank just about complete, more Zerglings on the way, a total of 18 being built, and we're going to see continued pressure here in the main for the Protoss as the fighting starts to progress over here at the natural. But we're seeing, okay, there goes the pylon. Again, the Zerg player has vision of the high ground with the Corruptors, and it's just overall in a great spot in that regard. Now, back over to the economy. Look at this, 29 to 49. So as far as what the Zerg player needs to do now, he knows he has to build up. He has to make sure that he has the economy moving forward. Because yes, he has done a lot of damage to the army, and we can see that he has a significant advantage. But you look at the economy and you see that's not a sustainable one. Once basically this stuff dies, he's not going to be able to rebuild it that quickly. He's running the bottom of the barrel for minerals. He's pretty gas heavy right now. But I mean, Roaches and Zerglings, that's going to happen. I mean, that's all there is to it. So we actually have the Forge going down for sure. Going to be delaying that that upgrade. And look at this, man. Zerg is just like, you know what? Forget you, Zerglings. Go forth and kill probes, and that's exactly what they're going to do, chasing all around the base while just a cluster house is going down here. Craziness. 2 different areas of attack right here. I keep expecting to see something else go down here as well. I mean, with all the stuff we've had happen so far this game, but the Nexus could be going down, folks. It looks like the Zerglings will get taken out just barely in the nick of time. But down here, iGXiGua working on the probes. You see this mineral patch is quite oversaturated, obviously a result of the loss of the Nexus. Protoss also going for the 3rd up here. Roaches should be able, in the combination with the Zerglings, to actually deny this. We're going to see this go down right there, and yeah, Protoss just not able to respond quick enough. Oh, force field's coming around. Nice cup right there, keeping a lot of those Roaches at bay. But, keeping them from retreating, rather. I'm just losing myself over the words here. So much stuff going on. Zerglings coming into the mineral line, getting some more probe kills, while some more run into the main. Zealots should be able to handle that. And it looks like the attack is finally going to let up here. A momentary respite. Oh, nope. Back on with the fighting. So right now, the Protoss army, 1-1. That's going to work out very well for him, I think, moving forward in this game. Because, again, his opponent doesn't have any armor upgrades. And you see how he's actually running around trying to dodge the army, delay the expansion. Obviously, we can see there is none there. And here comes JYP looking to attack once again. Now, this wall going up. All right, we got Zealots here. Plenty of those. He's got to back up or else the Zerglings are going to be able to run by there. Oh, no. Oh, hole in the wall. Oh, no. JYP is going to suffer pretty heavy losses there. This Nexus already very low on health. And you see those probes are just stuck trying to come in and basically defend any which way they can. Fortunately for JYP, the forces have been able to come back up here. But let's take a look at this. We do have some zealots coming down and finally going on the offensive, getting some work done down here. This is actually going to be really important because this is going to delay or at least kind of weaken the next attack, which is something that JYP desperately needs here. Now, his economy is not looking so good in terms of available minerals, 29 to 31. So yes, he does have the harvester advantage, but look at the mineral income. You see, he's not able to mine it. He's got actually, obviously, the idle probes here. Two of them aren't helping, but we are going to see continued pressure, possibly from both players, as, again, iGXiGua looks to move up and harass the natural and maybe get into the main, take down this Nexus, to deny that gas. And here we go with the Roaches committing up to that attack in the north as well. JYP is going to be able to take out this expansion without too much difficulty. We're seeing those Zerglings finish off the probes. We're going to watch the income dip down even more, 33 to 29. Now Zerg has the economic advantage. He's obviously had the mineral income advantage for quite some time here. Having a high yield expansion will do that for you. So now Zealots will be able to chase those around, again keeping the Zerg on his toes. The Nexus in the main has gone down. That is a pretty substantial loss right there. We also have the Nexus at the natural. Uh-oh. Now look at the minerals for the Protoss player. He does not have enough to rebuild, so he is pretty much going to be committing to an attack here. Look at what he brought in. He's got so many sentries at full energy, which means that with this engagement, I feel like the combination of forces that he has here are going to be phenomenal for dealing with what the Zerg has. Just look at the unit composition. 3 Immortals, 11 Stalkers, 12 sentries. Keep in mind, these Stalkers do have Blink. Versus 10 Roaches, 3 Corruptors, and a bunch of Zerglings. Okay, the Zerglings can do some damage, Roaches can as well, but the Immortals are just going to obliterate those armored units. Obviously, Force Fields can really mitigate that damage potential of the Zerglings, and the probes. Oh, the probes coming in. We're just going to have a full-on probery take place right here. Look at this, man, coming in, buzzing and zapping to their heart's content. If they even have hearts. I don't know. They have little mechanical hearts. And they run around screaming, "I'm a real boy!" And I really need to get some sleep after this cast, I think. But man, let me tell you, on a serious note, these probes are going to act as a great force. They're going to basically tank damage for the... Well, oh man, never thought I'd have to explain this tactic. They're going to tank damage for the drones that are going to be coming in and trying to absorb some of the damage and basically absorb the firepower from the Stalkers. Man, that's a wonky analysis if I've ever heard one. But basically, we have a workers' party here, which is, oh man, going to be set back by the force fields. Look at this, man. So many units in this small, tight little clump. I bet JYP just wishes he had one Psystorm. So iGXiGua really just outplayed here. The Warp Prism, I think that pressure there in the start when he was doing that attack, just phenomenal. Leading up to that, you know, we saw that there was some great aggression there from iGXiGua, but I don't feel that he's going to be able to do anything more in this game. I mean, really, the back-and-forth action, he did a great job taking out the economy, avoiding his opponent's superior forces, but he's got to face the facts at some point, man. You see, he has counterattacked up here, trying with a few Zerglings. There's the GG from iGXiGua, concluding game number 1 Intel Extreme Masters Best of Series. Let's go on to game number 2 and see what happens next.